Give me some money.
How much?
I'll let you know. That'll do.
Jesse! Yeah! Some parts. Oh, all right.
Here, use these. Some fella left them in there. He said they were his personal brand, but he had to leave in a hurry, so you can have them.
Appreciate it. Boys, mind if I sit in? Look, so you can see the money in the game, the better.
Well, fella, I think I just might know who you are. I'd bet you're Johnny Hollister. So this is where you've spent the last 15 years. Bunch of folks sure misjudged you. But you'd be happy to know there were several folks who always stuck up for you, saying you were an honest man. I sure do hate to leave you like this, old boy. But Wells Fargo, they'll want to see what happened, and they'll be here pretty soon to put you to rest proper. At this rate, I'm liable to be toting $1 million by the time I hit town. Howdy.
What's the matter, Sugarfoot? Lose your horse?
Nope. As a matter of fact, when I got him up this morning, well, he told me he was still tired. So I just said, you get a little more sleep, rest up a bit, and then meet me in town later.
I think you're just wearing holes in your boots because you got tossed off your horse.
Well, miss, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But you know, my pony, he hates town. He hates city life. Can't even stand city folk. In fact, he might decide not to come into town at all. He could have been pretending this morning. So let's say that my pony decided not to come into town at all. Do you know where a Sugarfoot like me might be able to find a couple of real gentle ponies?
Probably none gentle enough for you. By the way, I wouldn't sass me if I were you. My daddy owns the biggest spread in these parts, and if you want a job around here, you pretty much have to work for him.
Oh, I'll for sure remember that.
You better, because Daddy won't hire you if I say not to.
Hey, girlie!
Don't you call me that!
You know if the sheriff's close at hand today?
Oh, I'm sure Buck will find you.
Howdy, Gray. How's Fulton?
Well, I'm assuming he's alive, only because I haven't run into him.
I reckon so. So, I just got into town. If there's one thing I know about you, you'd be knowing where the sheriff's office is here in town.
Yeah, I've gotten acquainted with the sheriff.
Army feeding you good, huh?
Well, sheriff's feeding me good.
How long you been keeping company with the sheriff?
30 days or so, not by my choice.
Just get out, I guess.
Yeah, just yesterday.
So, what kind of man is the sheriff?
Oh, I'd say he's a pretty good man. As far as sheriffs go, he's tough.
Can he handle himself in some trouble?
He put me in jail. Yeah, I would say he's a good man to ride with. Like I say, as far as sheriffs go, don't get me wrong, because you don't normally see me complimenting the law, but he's a good man.
All right. Needed to know that. Much obliged. Where might I find the sheriff's office?
Right around that corner right there. And if I were you, my advice is don't look like you're hunting trouble when you walk in.
Much obliged. You see Fulton? Tell him I said howdy too.
I will.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm looking for Buck Merritt, the sheriff here.
He stepped out for a few minutes and he's left me in charge.
Okay.
My name's Wallace.
Well, howdy to you, Miss Wallace.
It's Mrs. Wallace.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
although Mr. Wallace has been gone over 25 years, since then a lot of men wanted to be my beau. But none of them caught my fancy. I didn't think any of them was man enough for me. It'd take quite a man to be man enough for me. Buck's a good man, but he's a little bit too young and too proud. But he won't even ask for my help most time when he needs it. Well, take now, for instance, he didn't exactly leave me in charge. I stepped in to visit and saw his note. Said he'd be back soon. So naturally, I thought he'd want me to stay here and take care of things. That's what I mean about him being too proud. He knows I've been glad to keep an eye on things, but he is too proud to ask me. Even though I'm sure he's gone on important business. What if somebody come in here needing help from corner rustlers? Now, who can help him if Buck or nobody was here? You ain't having troubles with rustlers, are you?
No, ma'am.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
I got a ranch north of town. I don't need any help taking care of rustlers or nobody. I don't see why anybody come cry to the sheriff when they can take care of them themselves. That's what I mean about somebody not being man enough for me.
Yes, ma'am.
I remember the last time I caught somebody stealing my cattle. I'll tell you what I did.
Oh, that reminds me, Mrs. Wallace. You seem to be familiar with everything around here. I was wondering if you might tell me where I could rent a buggy or maybe a couple of horses.
I'd rich as mine, but all I got left is my own saddle horse. You should try JT over at the cantina. JT over the cantina, delivery, a hotel, and a bunch of other things.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Miss Wallace, and I hope to see you again real soon.
Hey, you never did tell me what you want to see Buck for.
Well, I'll check back in a little bit and see if he's here in a few minutes. But I got some other things to do. But I'll come back.
All right.
You know, we're this close to getting our hands on that 20,000, and you can't stay sober and out of jail.
I did what you asked me, Frank. I waited till one of them showed up.
Who showed up? That marshal?
No, it was that other feller. I think he killed Ben.
That sounds about right. That brother of yours should have been here by now. Unless maybe he double-crossed us and took off with the money. What makes you think the other fella killed him? I ain't never seen anybody as good with a gun as Ben. Except maybe you.
No, Ben wouldn't have done that. I know it. He wouldn't leave here without me.
Well, maybe you're right. I don't think he'd leave you either.
And that's not all. I seen that fella come in the saloon, had some saddlebags slung over his shoulder.
What did he do with the saddlebags?
Well, he went and talked to the owner about renting some horses, ordered a meal, and said he'd be back. Then he went and talked to the sheriff. He had them saddlebags when he left, but when he came back, they were gone.
Man, he must have the money in those bags. He might be here in the sheriff's office.
You think you can keep him out of trouble?
Well, we'll take a look in them saddlebags and maybe that tin box over. And that tin box over.
Ain't nothing in here but a bunch of old paper, corn.
I ain't worried about them papers, but I might have a little coin.
He might not have had the money, Frank.
Oh, he had the money all right, kid. I got an idea. What'd that lawman do when he came in the cantina?
He just asked about renting some horses, then he went through some curtains into an office.
How long was he out of your sight?
Quite a while. The doc came to see him about his arm bleeding.
He might have left that money over there at the cantina. Maybe the doc might have it.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Well, first, I'm going to go over to that cantina and see about that money. Now, I'm going to let you out. I want you going up there to your room. Go through the front door of the hotel. Stay out of the cantina. I want you to stay out of sight till you get sober. Or till I come get you.
Howdy, stranger.
Well, it sure is quiet in here.
Yeah, well, we ain't got the crowd in yet. They'll be here in a bit, though.
I tell you what, give me some of that brandy up there.
Oh, you want the good stuff. You must be pretty refined then. Well, ain't many fake people come in here now.
Lady, I see you got a safe in here. And I believe there's something in there that belongs to me.
There's nothing in here that belongs to you, mister.
Well, open it. Now!
Jess! Jesse!
Jesse!
Drop your gun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I didn't mind.
I thought you left. Why did you come back?
Well, when I got the horses from Bill, he said he didn't handle any money, that I'd have to come back and pay you, that all he handled was horses. So I came back to give Jesse the money, and then you came out of your office.
It's a good thing you came back when you did.
Yeah, that's one of the fellas that I needed to catch. It looks like Jesse's coming around. I think Doc's got this guy handled. I've got to go get Jim. He's been out there too long. There's liable to be somebody else show up here looking for the money.
Well, don't worry. I'll be ready if someone comes here looking for trouble.
I guess you will be. No, that's all right, Bill. I don't need saddles. Just put a bridle on that other one. I'm gonna borrow your shovel.
figured if I waited and stayed out of sight, that you or that marshal would show up sooner or later. You budge, and I'll blow you in two. Now you and me are gonna find that money. Back up. Now loosen that gun belt and drop it to the ground. Now drop that gun belt. Then back up. Now you and me are gonna find that money.
What if I told you the money's in Sundown locked up?
We're gonna look around and see about that.
What makes you think the money's still here?
Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have came back.
You see those bareback horses? I came back to get the saddles.
Well, we're gonna look around and see. Now I noticed that you were in an awful hurry to get to this saddle. I think that money's under there.
The money's in Sundown locked up in a safe.
Then I'm just gonna have a look for myself. Bud, and I'll blow you in two.
Well, finally made her back. You took your own sweet time.
Well, I'm sure glad to see that a bullet in your leg for 2 days hasn't changed your disposition any.
I was about to give up on you and start walking.
And I was about to let you.
What happened? Need a girl?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I did.
Well, good for you. Is she pretty?
As a matter of fact, she is pretty. And she can cook. And I think she might even have a little money.
You did lollygag, didn't you?
Well, lots happened since day before yesterday when I was here last. A bunch. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get you back to sundown. And all I want to do is sleep for a week.
Not till I get those cold beers.
You know what? To get you back to sundown, I will give you the money. And you can buy the beers after Doc takes a look at your leg. All I want to do is fall into a bed. There you go, Hopalong. I rented some horses. You get the mean one.
You got it. I don't.
Can you do that cocaine, old man?
Yeah, I think so. You call me Overland.
Jesse! How do you feel?
Alright.
Would you be alright if Rose and I go riding for a little while?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, howdy.
It's 12:05. Will you be staying another day?
I'm not sure yet. Oh, and I apologize for the way I got out of control out there. I just get to drinking and I get to be mean and angry like my brother.
Well, you just see that it doesn't happen again in my place.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if you're gonna stay another day, you need to go to the desk and pay. Say, how did you get out of jail anyways?
Well, I sobered up and the sheriff let me out. What was all that shooting about last night?
A man tried to rob me and he got arrested. The sheriff was beaten up pretty bad and he's still unconscious.
Well, that's just awful. Oh. Okay, I think I'll be staying another night. I'll go right down there and pay that.
Well, you just see that you do.
Yeah, I sure hope that sheriff will be okay.
Hey, lawman! Hey, lawman, turn around!
If you can move,
Hey, lawman, turn
move
around!
real
I'm gonna kill you.
fast, I can get
I
him
said I'm gonna kill you!
real easy.
Did you hear me? I said I'm gonna kill you!
You scum! I'm gonna get you.
You'll have to break out of jail to do it.
I'll get you. I'll find you some way, somehow.